Hello and welcome, this is rooflemonger, and in today's video I want to discuss banning a character. So banning Jacqui Briggs has now been a discussion in the NRS community for the last couple days, and let's go over the whole deal here, because banning a character, that's a big deal, right? That's not nothing, and why Jacqui and why now? Now first up here, before we go any further into the video, I personally do not believe she should be banned. That said, I think it's a bit of a symptom of the patch here. A lot of the quote-unquote top characters got some nerfs in the most recent Aftermath patch, right? And Jacqui didn't. In fact, I did a patch winners and losers video, and I labeled Jacqui a winner of the patch because she avoided the nerfs that everyone else who's a top character got, right? And to me, that made her a winner in and of itself, since she managed to escape the nerf hammer people like Joker, people like Liu Kang got, right? So they got a bit of a, tuning down, tweaking down, and Jacqui can just jump the day away. She gets to laugh it all off, right? It feels like it was roughly around this time last year when we're debating banning another character in another game, and this time it's Jacqui's turn at bat. Now, the first thing here, before we go into some of the particulars, why it's even on the table, I gotta say, as much as I love NetherRealm games, NetherRealm games knows broken more than perhaps any modern major fighting game developer. We have like Mortal Kombat 9, we got, Cabal, we got Cyrax, Mortal Kombat X. God, I hope you never had to suffer through Summoner Quan Chi, because that's some of the biggest BS in fighting game history. Injustice, man, we had pre-patch Superman, Batgirl, Martian Manhunter, Injustice 2, Deadshot, and so many more. Like, NRS knows broken is what I'm saying. And does Jacqui live up to that standard of broken? No, not even close, right? Even in this game's own history, like Garrus at the game's launch, Garrus is like 10 times the character before all the nerfs that Jacqui ever was, right? At least in my personal opinion. Suffice to say, I don't agree she stands up to the titans of, NRS broken characters, and none of those characters were ever banned either, by the way. So what's wrong with Jacqui? What makes her so unbearable she has to be banned, right? Well, the discussion is certainly around Variation 3, that is upgraded, because upgraded is definitely the best of her 3 variations. I don't think that's fairly difficult to argue. But a lot of the core concepts of the character are also very, very strong. This is regardless of any variation stuff, right? Let's just talk about some of her basic strings. So let's talk forward 3-1 and forward 1-2. So forward 3-1 is this guy, forward 1-2 is this guy, right? So in and of themselves, before anything else, hey, forward 3-1, 9-frame mid. A lot of people want 9-frame mids, and she's got some pretty okay range on it too, right? So that's already good, and you can hit confirm into whatever, so if you get the hit, you can go into like whatever combo you want, doesn't really matter. So that's cool. And forward 1-2, that's an 11-frame mid. So that's really good as well. So she has 2 awesome mid hit confirm strings. That's already better than just about everybody else in the cast, right? People want mid hit confirmable strings, and they want them quick. And she's got a 9-framer and an 11-framer, so that already puts her well above the cast just in that alone, right? Now let's look at some of the numbers here. So if you just do forward 3 by itself, it's only -2. If you just do forward 1 by itself, it's just -2. So these moves are barely negative at all. And what that means is this: these are super awesome stagger moves. So what is staggering? Well, it's just basically, hey, am I going to go for the string? If I do the whole string here, that's kind of whatever. If I do the whole string, it's kind of whatever. But what if I don't? What if I just do this and I throw you right away, right? And this is so quick that you kind of gotta guess. It's really that cut and dry. Like, am I going to do this and go for something else? Or am I going to let it rock, and if you try to hit a button, you're going to get conked in the face? Like, that's kind of the essence of staggering, right? Like, constantly just trying to take turn after turn after turn. And especially with forward 1. Forward 1 more than forward 3, in my opinion. Forward 1 just lets you just go for everything. Because it's 11-frame startup, and it's only -2. Even if you have an idea that, the stagger's coming, if you are not razor quick on the ball, she'll still get that turn anyways. -2 is like a suggestion more than it is like something you can actually enforce, right? So you can just say it's like 0 and it's a 13-frame mid. Like, either way, like, unless you were like a razor quick jamming on stand 1 or something, like, she'll just get to take turn after turn after turn after turn, and you're just gonna have to groove on it, right? And yeah, that's just like factor 1 of a lot. Then we have to factor in some of the variation-specific stuff, right? Jacqui has mobility in Variation 3 that, like, you know, other characters don't got. You like that Goichi Moon Jump at Dragon Ball FighterZ? Hey, she's got it built into her moveset, right? So that mobility is really good, and is obviously very present, right? So she can just kind of bypass screen stuff whenever she feels like, but that's, like, not even the thing. Because the thing is this, it's the pressure. That's what makes the super jump so crazy for Jacqui. So let's take a basic setup, something like this. So in that whole thing, you blocked everything and all that, and I landed and I just did my stagger and I threw you, right? And here's the thing, without you actually labbing out, you know, what your character's options are, this is something as basic as shrapnel into like landing on your head. That's actually kind of difficult to deal with, right? You actually gotta hit training mode and like, okay, what are my options? And a lot of options you think you have on the table, they aren't even the best. So in this specific scenario here, if we go for our jump up here in the shrapnel, yeah, you can totally flawless block that, 100%. You get to flawless block it. But there's a problem in that flawless block's not the most reliable in this situation. Like for Devora right there, that's her up 2, right? And it didn't work because I'm too high up in the air. The hitboxes, they just don't interact with each other. So for all the well and good of you doing the flawless block and you doing your up 2 to try to, you know, stop me, didn't really work. Once again here, you know, nothing to it, right? I can do the whole scenario, and for a character like Devora, she's kind of got to eat crap. Not the least of which is you can keep doing multiple shrapnel blasts in the air, right? So if you want to burn both bars, you can just stay hovering in the air above their head. Something like that. So a lot of characters that could normally hit you on the way falling down with your jump 1 or whatever, if you choose to do that, their up 2 is going to completely whiff anyways, and you crank them on the head with the shrapnel blast, land, get your full combo, go from there, right? So even in the quote-unquote right thing to do, where, okay, since there's a gap, I'm going to flawless block, do, you know, the game's built-in mechanic to punish it, hey, turns out doesn't work like you think it would. And for the jump string specifically, like, the problem is there's so many layers, right? So yes, you can absolutely hit training mode, and like, you can learn how to defeat this, right? So, you know, that's just string starter here into our jump, into shrapnel EX cancel, and then land with the jump 1 on their head, right? You might be able to learn how to beat that. But then again, if I did this instead, you just say crap, then I'm going to land and full combo you, because you tried to do what you learned, which was correct. And you know, for some specific characters here, like, you can beat the landing jump 1, but you can't beat the landing jump 3. So, like, it's hard to win even when you've labbed out certain scenarios, right? There's so many layers that it's just hard to know if you got the right one. And nominally, you know, in fighting games, when you block, your move gets blocked, you know, you kind of, well, at least ideally, you've lost your turn. But for upgraded Jacqui, like, the block into the jump is just where the turn begins. Like, if you get hit, whatever, like, I guess it's cool you're going to get a combo, right? But, like, if you get blocked, whatever, there's still so many more opportunities to crack you open and you lose your turn. Because once again, if we get to the point here where you block that jump 1, you block that jump 3, and she lands in the forward 1, like, the blender just begins again. It's like she never lost her turn to begin with, because now it's Stagger City, right? Like, am I going to do this? I'm going to do this. You know, what am I going to do? And this is something Jacqui can put out that is very rare in this game, this, like, non-stop aggression. And suffice to say, when it comes to labbing options, like, she doesn't have to do shrapnel, like, as low to the ground as possible. She can be pretty high up and then do shrapnel, right? And then cancel out and land on your head and all that kind of stuff, right? So just even the height factors can totally ruin, you know, whatever you have planned. Like, maybe what you had to work to counter it only counters Jacqui doing shrapnel at a very low height, right? Like, something like this on top of your head versus her just waiting and then falling on top of your head, right? There's too many variables at play, right? So that is one of the biggest issues here. So when there's so many variables, you can't have the answer for all of them, right? And it could be up for the Jacqui player. They just, like, you know, they don't even care. Like, it's not even on their mind. The Jacqui player has to think a lot less than the person on defense in this scenario. And these are just a couple aspects of why she's such a good character, right? She has some of the better damage in the game. I won't say the highest, right? But definitely above average damage in the game. she also has really good unbreakable damage, you know. This variation doesn't get the armor break, but hey, that's like basically almost 30%, right? And there's no chance to break. The enemy is set to break as soon as possible, by the way. And they cannot break that combo, so that's 29% easy peasy. She's blessed with really good crushing blows. You know, the old back 4-2 is always a stalwart, easy to work in combos, by the way, because it's all about, you know, the frames that have elapsed versus the actual distance traveled, as far as the crushing blow is considered. 3-3 is a really good crushing blow that leads to a big pop-up, a lot of big damage. Like, outside of the fact she doesn't have, like, you know, kind of a traditional zoning set, because even characters with not good projectiles still generally have projectiles in this game, right? And Jacqui, not so much, right? But in Variation 3, given her mobility tools and all that, she doesn't even really need them. So she can't play one certain aspect of the game, so she's not a complete character in that aspect. But the everything else up close, she's an absolute blender. So when it comes to like the community output here, I've been seeing a lot of like, hey, no, Jacqui shouldn't be banned. Once again, I agree, Jacqui shouldn't be banned. But then a lot of like, hey, I kind of wish she got nerfed though in the patch. Because once again, she's basically the strongest character that didn't get any nerf in any way, shape, or form. So I think that's where some of the resentment's kind of bleeding in. Because she is absolutely, well, she was already one of the better characters in the game. And I guess you could say debatably she's now the best character in the game, upgraded Jacqui specifically. Now, when it comes to actually banning her, you know, putting, you know, your money where your mouth is, I've only ever seen one specific tournament here. A European region tournament here actually banned her straight up. But other than that, you know, hey, I don't think EVO is going to be banning her anytime soon or anything, right? And with that said, you know, with as good as she is, if you're planning on entering the online EVO, hey, maybe learn Jacqui, right? Because she's pretty good, and I don't think anything about that's going to change in time by next month. But yeah, so just letting you know where this all stands. I think some of the grievances against Jacqui are fairly legitimate. She's definitely better than the average character, and by a fair bit, right? A good over half the cast wishes they could even scrape the beginnings of what Jacqui has to offer, because Jacqui is better than most of the cast. Just hands down, nothing else to really say about it. So once again, for me, I don't think she should be banned, but hey, maybe when Joker, maybe when Johnny, maybe when Liu Kang got those little bit of a, you know, fair nerfs in my opinion, maybe Jacqui should have just got, you know, a little slap on the wrist as well, but she didn't, and I guess that's why we're having this conversation. Anyways, my friends, letting you know what the situation is as far as the community is going. You know, let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think she should be banned? Do you think at least she should be nerfed, or is she fine as she is? And I guess that is it for this video. So hey, thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some Mortal Kombat.
Oh, yeah.